Hey guys, welcome back to the Hide. Today we've got a review that's been a long time coming, fellas. I tell you, ever since I've seen one of these, I've been wanting to try it, and this is the 17 WSM, the Savage Bmag. I've kind of held out this long from doing one just because of all the negative reviews that this rifle has got, but that doesn't mean that I haven't been curious about it. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of rimfire stuff here at the Hide. I shoot a lot of 22 mag and 22 LR, as you guys know. But the 17 WSM just seems to be kind of a luring thing in that what the round potentially could be capable of. But I didn't feel like dropping a ton of money on one of these and then have it not shoot well and then just end up having to turn around and sell it. So I ended up being able to trade around for this rifle here and basically got it for next to near nothing. So I thought it's a primed opportunity to bring one out to the Hide, get some rounds through it, and actually see, if the hype lives up to it or if it truly is, a negative thing, as you hear a lot of guys with. I will say the stock is not much, fellas. I mean, it's just a polymer stock. It is what it is. Could you fill it and maybe glass bed it? You possibly could, but we're going to shoot it as it is from the factory, the same way you guys would get it. I've got 4 different loads that we're going to be trying out today. I did want to kind of just get an overview for those of you maybe who have not seen 17 WSM and just kind of give a size comparison to it. But here is just a standard 17 HMR, okay? And here is 17 HMR next to 22 Magnum, okay? Now let me get just a regular 22 LR here as another size comparison. So here is those rounds next to just a 22, standard 22, like you guys are used to seeing. Now let's compare that to the 17 Super Mag. As you can see, I mean, it is considerably longer, and the case is a little bit fatter, which you would expect. I mean, you've got a pretty good feet per second difference in these rounds. So, I mean, they're touting basically 3,000 feet per second with this load. So that's saying something. I mean, that is absolutely cooking in a rimfire. So I'm definitely anxious to see how it shoots. I know you guys, as well as I have read all of the negative stuff on this rifle, but I will say, kind of give you guys a close-up of it here. I mean, it seems to be A-okay, but, the proof is going to be in the pudding. It does have about a 20-inch heavy barrel on it. It does have bit of a target crown to it. It does have the Savage AccuTrigger, which is nice, so that will definitely help us. As far as just getting it out of the box and taking a look at it, I will say one of the things that I've heard a lot is, sorry about that, a lot of the guys complain with is this cocks on closing. So whenever you're going down, it is really tough to get it down. As you see, there's no rounds in the chamber, but it's stout. You got to press it down, so there's no question about that. But just out of the box, here, we'll stick the trigger scale on it for you guys too. Get it about midway of the paddle here. So that one was just a fraction under 3 pounds. Here, we'll reset it and get it again. So it has got a really nice trigger. So it's set right at about 3 pounds. And honestly, I have not done anything with it other than take it out of the box and mount the scope. So let's get this thing back out to the Hide, guys. We'll get it back there and get some shots down range and just see what it does. All right, guys, we've got the Savage Bmag back out here on the bench. We're out at the Hide. We're out at 110 yards. I've got 3 different loads that I was able to source here locally. We've got the 25 grain Varmint HE from Winchester. This is 2,600 feet per second. I got a box of Hornady 20 grain VMAX. This stuff is rated at 3,000 feet per second. And I also found some Winchester Varmint X 15 grain. This stuff they're claiming at 3,300 feet per second. Guys, that's cooking out of a rimfire. But we're going to take 5 shots out of these at 110 and kind of see what kind of groups we can hold with them here. And I have to say, so far so good with sighting it in. That went pretty uneventful. I will say that my sentiments keep going about the rotary mags. I'm just not a fan of them. I don't see why they couldn't have come out with a little box mag design. But I mean, this thing works, but it is what it is. I don't like the plastic tabs on it. I mean, if you were really going to use this rifle, that could be something to consider. In and out, in and out. It could possibly break. But just back here so far, it's done fine. And again, closing that bolt does take some force because it's cocking on close. So definitely keep that in mind as well. But we're going to try 5 of these. This is the 25 grain Winchester Varmint HE. Absolutely no recoil to speak of. I think we got one more left. All right. All right. Just looking through the scope here, that doesn't look too bad. Let's try 5 of this Hornady. Again, this is the 20 grain Vmax, 3,000 feet per second. That is just absolutely hauling the mail, fellas. I really expected to be a little bit more recoil just due to the fact that the round is a little bit larger and there's such an increase in feet per second, but it's next to near nothing. It's really no different than shooting one of my 22 mags. That bolt definitely takes a little getting used to, fellas, I tell ya. All right. Okay, so let's try 5 of this 15 grain stuff. I honestly didn't even know they made a 15 grain in this until I seen this at the store. So that's definitely interesting. Talk about a varmint round. Again, whenever you're loading these mags, just make sure you load the butt end of the shell into the magazine first. I just kind of been pushing them in with my thumb and then sliding them in. It seems to work out okay. But if not, it kind of hangs up on this metal portion of the magazine and then it'll fall out. So it is a 9-round magazine, so good magazine capacity. I think we should go ahead and shoot one more group out of this 25 grain just so we can get an even 4 targets on our paper down there. A little OCD, don't mind me. But I have to say, it shoots really well. It does seem to be holding a group. You guys are seeing this a lot sooner than I am through the target cam, so it's really stable. The rifle's very stable. I will say a lot of times when you get heavy barreled rimfire rifles, they're very wobbly when you get them on a bipod and a rear bag, so it's really hard to keep the rifle stable. Even with this hollow polymer stock, the rifle seems to be very stable on the bench, which for a varmint hunting application would be very pivotal in getting a good shot. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my scope a little bit. All right, so let's try 5 more of that 25 grain. All right, let me grab the camera here, guys. We'll get another bit of a close-up here of the rifle so you can see it a little bit closer. I did end up going with a BSA scope. I know that'll probably get some laughs from you guys, but a $200 rifle, I'm not going to spend a boatload of money on an optic for it. And BSA actually has a 17 WSM reticle. So I figured it'd be neat enough to kind of check out and also give another data point as far as some of those other accessories to go along with the Bmag. So let's grab the camera here, fellas. We'll take a look at the rifle, and then we'll go down and take a look at our target and see how we did. Rifle itself, I'm actually, you know, I don't like the bolt cocking on close. I think just because I'm not used to it, possibly. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. That's definitely a learning curve. But I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely something to think about. Like I said, overall, it's pretty solid just for the cheap polymer stock. And here's the scope. It's a 6-24, and let me see if I can get a close up through the reticle. It's actually not that bad as far as clarity goes for no more than it cost. And my camera's not going to do it. But for the money spent, I'm definitely happy with it. And again, it's 17 Super Mag, so it's calibrated on the reticle for the 20 and 25 grain loads. So again, heavy barrel, roughly 20-inch, target crowned on the muzzle. Let's go down here, check out our target. Proof is in the pudding, guys. I'm definitely excited to see how it did. You know, this is one of those things I wanted to try one out ever since they came out, but with all the negative reviews and all the guys complaining about accuracy on them and everything, just kind of turned me off on them. But I love all things rimfire. It's just fun. And as a general rule, it's a lot cheaper too. So that's definitely a bonus. But being able to shoot and not have your shoulder hurt afterwards without recoil and big muzzle blast, it's a lot of fun also. With the right load, I think that right there would be one heck of a varmint rifle. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's take a look. too bad, guys. I mean, honestly, I was expecting, you know, some really train wreck groups, but yeah, it's about, I mean, with that one there, if that one wasn't there, that would be a really nice group. But that's that 25 grain Winchester. And again, this was 110 yards, 5-shot group. So, you know, that's about a 2-inch group. This is that Hornady. Not so much on that. It doesn't really seem to like that too well. Here is that 15 grain stuff. Man, if I hadn't have messed that one, if that one went over there, wee, that would have been a heck of a group. Now that right there, that's not bad. That's another group of that 25 grain Winchester. So I tell you guys, if that stock was bedded, it could shrink those groups up a little bit more. Now, I have to say, for no more than that rifle cost out of the box, I think to buy that one's like $220 for a rimfire that shoots like that. I'm pretty impressed, honestly. I was expecting a lot worse, and that right there is not bad at all. I would like to try some of the 20 grain Winchester. I was not able to find any of it around me locally, so that's definitely something else I want to try. But stay tuned. We may do a part 2 on this and go ahead and just bed that factory stock and maybe see if we can get a little more rigidity out of it and see if that will shrink these groups maybe a little bit more. So that might be kind of interesting. But overall, guys, I'm pretty impressed. This is the blue barreled model. This is not the stainless model, so it's a little bit cheaper. But definitely stay tuned. We may do a little bit more shooting with this, get some more data on it with a few different loads if I can find any more, and kind of go from there. But overall, I got to give it a recommend, at least this one anyway. Sample size of 1, fellas. But as always, if you got any questions on this, post them up below. Shoot me a message on the Facebook page. We're also on Patreon. If you feel inclined to donate to the channel, it'd be much appreciated. And as always, fellas, shoot straight. Later.